Welcome to Anchored at Harbor Park CrossFit, a show dedicated to helping you find enrichment for the other 23 hours of your day outside of the gym. Here's your hosts, Jason, Dave, and Corian.
Good morning, people.
Good morning.
Anchored at Harbor Park is back.
Episode 10.
DS. That's 10 if you don't speak Spanish.
DS.
Icebreaker time. The question is, what are you reading right now?
Ooh. I literally have a stack of books next to my bed. I was just joking, I think with you, about how I need to build a nightstand to hold all my books so they're not just piled. I have a book that Erin Hyde from Life Aid, Fit Aid, posted. It's 100 Entrepreneurs. It's just like this woman who interviewed all these different entrepreneurs about starting businesses, both young, old, and all of that. A lot of good information. I have that one. I have my journal now. I have the 4-Hour Chef from Tim Ferriss, and then I have a Stephen King novel. It's the third one in the Dark Tower series. So,
I am currently reading nothing. I'm in between books.
Oh, that's not even my Audible books.
I'm trying to figure out which one to read next, so I don't know.
I just finished 4-Hour Chef by Tim Ferriss.
I saw that.
Which was a 70-day, 650-page Goliath. But there's a lot that you can learn a lot with skipping a lot of it. I like to start from front to back and finish.
Sequential.
Yeah. So I mean, you can still learn a ton from it without getting into there's a ton of how to live in the outdoors on your own type stuff.
I should skip to that section.
Yeah, which doesn't apply to me at all. Audiobook I'm listening to, re-listening to Apple's Obsession with Simple or something. It's yeah. Just talks about how everything they do is just extremely simple, and that's why they're so loved and successful.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
I have 4 hours left of my 13-hour 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
I want to listen to that.
It's long.
I think I want to get on Napoleon Hill's book next. Think
7 Habits. Oh, okay.
Think and Grow Rich.
Yes, that's on my.
A lot of people talk about it. Every book I read or listen to, they always mention that was the book they read that got them their mind really thinking right. So I think he wrote it in the 40s or the 60s, either one of those. So it's a really older book, right. But the principles of it have helped a lot of people.
There's another book that I really want. It's Gary Vee, Crushing It.
Ooh.
Margot Alvarez post about it, and that's when I first heard about him and started checking out his Instagram. But now I'm seeing it pop up all over on all the people that we follow and that we admire. That's for sure going to be my next, but I think I want it as a hard copy. So.
Cool.
I like it.
Yeah.
So what's our topic today?
Dave, what are we talking about?
Today's episode 10, we're talking about training with injuries and how to overcome them and how you get around them.
And the key is training with injuries.
Correct.
So we're not going to sit at home?
Right, emphasis on training.
Emphasis on training, emphasis on getting through it and what we do. So, Corian, why don't you talk about the process? So, if I were doing a WOD and I couldn't finish it and I'm hurt because of that WOD, or let's just say I get hurt outside the gym. We all drive cars. God forbid somebody gets in a car accident. Or you get hurt at work, or you just fall on the sidewalk and you're injured. What's the process?
So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do an injury sheet where the member's going to fill it out, the one with the injury. It's just going to explain what it is that's hurting, how much it hurts, if it's a new injury, old injury, maybe something that was reoccurring, just came up again, so that we have an understanding about what it is. Biggest thing is everybody seems really scared to fill that out because they think we're going to tell them A, not to work out, or B, be upset that they got hurt from CrossFit. That is not, either one of those things aren't true. We just want to know, Jason does all of the numbers for everything. And so we want to keep track on, what are some of the biggest injuries that we're seeing, and then where they're occurring the most. And then also so we can assess like what your injury is. And then that gets assigned to either, Dave or Jason. And then they'll reach out to kind of go forward from there, either meet with you or have you see our physical therapist, Christian, from Doctors of Physical Therapy, or maybe your doctor or wherever it is, so we can get some more information on what's going on.
Let's back up really quick to the people who are afraid to report it.
Oh, yeah.
And talk about that for a second. Two things. First, it's just not smart. So pretty much everyone knows my back injury. Like I hadn't worked out 2 months. That's because I tried to fight through an injury for 2 months, and then my body just said, okay, like I'm not going to do this anymore, and my entire foot kind of just went numb for a month. So yeah, if you have a serious injury and you're just trying to fight through it, you're probably just going to do more damage.
Even if you don't think it's a serious injury, but it's something that's bothering you, again, don't try to fight through it. It's your body trying to tell you something is wrong.
Yeah, we talked about these in previous episodes too. Like, your body's telling you something. It's an alarm going off. It's those nagging injuries that keep occurring, or you keep feeling that there's something wrong. You're obviously moving incorrectly, or there's a deficiency that we can identify, and usually through like the modifications, we can give you some strength work to get past it.
Yep. And then a less obvious thing that a lot of people probably don't think about is if we don't know these injuries are occurring, like if a lot of people in the gym are getting knee injuries or hip injuries. Like we don't realize that's something on our end, that there's something wrong in the programming that we have to adjust. And if I don't have those numbers, I can't tell Blair that your programming's off. Like too many people are getting hurt, we're doing too many squats or not enough deadlifts or something like that. So it's really important for us to have this information so that we can provide the most effective but most safe training plan for everyone too.
Yeah, because even though our programming seems very random and drawn from a hat, there is a purpose behind everything that we do, and we're all constantly like evaluating what has been going on and what's going to be going on. So absolutely, we need that information. So again, then the next thing would be to kind of get some sort of evaluation, whether it's with Jason and Dave or a physical therapist or somebody else, so we can see if it's a deficiency or an injury that needs to be left alone or whatever, or if it needs some sort of repair.
Yeah. So Jay, why don't you take us through your injury consult?
I don't really know what you do during yours, Dave, but so what I'll do is I'll chat with the person about kind of what happened, what they're experiencing. I do all the shoulder stuff right now, so we'll do some shoulder screens, so like some range of motion tests, see where the pain's coming from. Now, as Corian alluded to, we might refer you out. Like, I don't know every fine detail about the shoulder and the shoulder musculature. So if I'm not sure, I'm going to tell you to go see Christian, who comes here every other Monday night. So it's not like you have to go out of your way. You just have, and he even said he'll kind of come meet people too. If you're up in Racine, he doesn't have a problem doing that. So we have a really good system for our members. If I don't know what's wrong, I'm not going to just guess with your body. Like, I'm not going to do that. It's not smart. You guys don't deserve that. We have people who do know. So we're going to tell you to go talk to them, and then I'll talk to him, and he'll let me know how to proceed with you going forward.
Yeah. So setting up game plans with other health professionals. We definitely talk to a lot of people and try to, evaluate everybody as a whole instead of just like from our perspective.
Yep, and mine's similar, so I'll do the consult if it's something that's been nagging for a while. Most of the time, though, I can pick out something real quick. I mean, you see typical same stuff, same symptoms every time, so I start to kind of understand it. But I do the lower body, anything below the waist or like low back and down. So I have a lot of people, I guess, with knee issues and low back. So generally, I'll do the same thing, assess it, and I want to see how you move. So I'll put you through a couple of different movements. If it's a knee, generally I'll have you squat a couple times. Just watch how you do that, watch your setup, see if I can notice anything. Sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's not, and when it's not, that's when I refer out to. And I'll say, hey, contact Christian. He will you can even text him the racing people he's really good with, and he'll set up an appointment and he'll come see you to give you that evaluation. And most of the time I'll send him a message too saying, hey, I'm referring you somebody who's got this. This is maybe what I think. Let me know. And then he'll either confirm or deny what I saw, and then gives me the action plan as well. Usually I'm finding with the knees, it's weak adductors and then weak glutes. That's kind of what I'm finding. So with the low back, generally, that's going to be SI joint or weak hamstrings. So going forward in my game plan for that, when I do programming, I'll give modifications to let the area rest and heal, but with still giving the person a good workout, kind of working around it, and then I give them extra supplementary stuff to work those areas that are causing the problem. So yeah, you're having knee pain, but that's because your glutes aren't firing. Here's some glute exercises. Right.
Yep. And so I kind of do something similar where, like, if I think they just beat the shoulder up too much and just need it to rest, we'll just kind of not use that side of the body or that arm. Versus if it's just a weak shoulder, I'll give them some exercises that they need to do before they can start overhead squatting again, or before they can start loading things.
Right.
And this isn't a lot of stuff. It's not going to take you a whole nother hour.
Right.
So it's something simple people can do before or after their regular workouts.
Yep. Yeah.
So, awesome.
And they're simple stuff too. And usually I include like a YouTube video of like, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
And then I think right now I have like 8 different exercises, and I'll say pick 3 of them a day and then rotate through them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then sometimes what happens is, if I have someone who can't use their right arm and there's cleans or there's like snatches or something, we're going to do single arm snatches on the good side. Now, a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to overload that side and get one side like really huge while the other side's not doing anything. And me and Dave will get into this a little bit now, but first of all, like when we do that, we're not doing like going heavy on it. Like we're not maxing out or like doing strength work. The goal is just keep you moving so you're sweating and you're staying active, right? So we're not trying to build that muscle. We're just trying to keep you moving. And then a point that Dave brought up earlier is it's called universal adaptation. If you do a movement on your left side, like not just your left arm is going to get stronger, but your right arm is going to get some adaptation as well. Your legs are even going to get some adaptation.
Yeah, even though you're not using it.
Mm-hmm. There's studies that show when you train, just do a squat program, don't do anything else, but just your squat for like 6 weeks, your bench press will go up as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So yeah, even though we're not using your right arm, it's still going to get benefit from using your left arm.
Yeah, and your body, the cool thing about working out is it actually promotes healing. So you can heal faster than just sitting on your couch, not doing anything.
Right.
And
Yeah, because we're bringing blood flow to the area, whatever hurts.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So I think that maybe, where we have people who are afraid to fill out those injury sheets, or they're afraid to, oh no, I'm injured. Like, it's not the end of the world. We can certainly get around it. Injuries happen all the time. I think the worst thing you can do is have let's just say you have a back injury, and then you just, I need to take time off, and you take 3 weeks off, then you get back at it, then all of a sudden you have maybe another setback. Well, during that time, you never addressed the issue. You just took time off, and then you go back at it, and you think you can go where you were, but your body now had 3 weeks of rest, and now it just got shocked again. Whereas if we could scale you down a little bit, give you some alternatives, fix the issue, then once we are ready to start going back to normal range of motion, normal movements, your body isn't going to go through that shock again,
Yep.
And you've promoted healing during the process.
I think, too, one of the biggest things that people are worried about is, again, they're worried about, like, oh, my God, I'm going to miss workouts, and then I'm not going to be getting fitness anymore. But we'll make sure that you can get in your workouts so you can keep on your routine and keep those good, healthy habits, even if they're not as maybe intense or challenging for you. You're still doing something, which is better than nothing, first of all. Second of all, we talk about this all the time, the longevity. I'm not here to compete in the open and then be done. I'm here to coach and be a box owner for years and years to come and be part of fitness and to stay out of the nursing home. So if I have to take even 6 months of a step back in order to have 6 more better years, I'm going to give that trade up because that's the end goal is my lifelong. Dave was injured for an entire year and had to take a step back, but now he's reset himself for the years to come.
Right. So. Same with Jason. Jason's dealing with his injury now, and he understands it. Maybe if he would have listened earlier, I would have modified for him, but he never told me. No, I'm just kidding. But I think I was going to go somewhere with that.
Short-term for long-term gains.
Yeah, but when you take time off too, it's easy then to fall back into bad habits.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, habits are there, and our bad habits are always going to be present. So if they don't just go away. So as soon as you fall back into, let's say, that sedentary life, it becomes so much harder to stay back on the course of what your plan was, because now you fall back into old habits. It's easier to just do that, and then
it's kind of like a downward spiral.
Yeah. And then it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Then all of a sudden you're gone for 3 weeks, and then it's like, well, not as motivated because now you've gotten, you want to watch your TV shows.
You probably eat like worse,
Yep.
Yeah.
So again, it's a downward spiral. We want to stay away from that. So when we made this training or this injury protocol for the gym, that was geared at making sure that you guys can continue the healthy habits. You don't feel like you have to disappear. It's all designed for you.
And even if your injury is like to the point where you really like can't do a CrossFit class, like we can still get you into the gym and give you like, even if we're just having you riding the bike or like doing like stabilization type stuff, we can give you stuff so you can stay in here. You're still getting in here, sticking with your routine.
Part of the community.
Yep, like Dave said, if you're at least coming in here, you're going to be more likely to keep your diet on point and do your other stuff.
And that brings me to another point. Keeping your diet on point does 2 things when you're injured. A, healthy nutrition is going to help you heal faster. I'm currently working with a client that's going to be going to have surgery, and she's nervous about being able to keep up and still lose body fat after the surgery. And I said, absolutely. And if we keep eating healthy and we keep eating this way, you're also going to heal faster. You're going to be back in the gym faster. Mm-hmm. But guys, the gym isn't where we're losing our body fat. Our nutrition is. So even if you're injured and you feel like you're coming in here, you might not be getting as intense of a workout because, again, you might just be a back injury that kind of affects a lot of stuff, and we really have to kind of take a step back. As long as you're eating healthy, you're still going to see that body fat go down, and you're still going to feel better, and you're going to be ready once that injury is healed to get back at it. So don't get injured and then eat all the bonbons.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I think another misconception about injuries is, like, they get scared. Mm-hmm. I'm injured, and then everything's done. Like, oh, even if you herniate a disc,
my life is over.
Jason has a herniated disc. There's plenty of people that herniate their disc, and speaking and listening and studying a lot of the stuff we do. Just because you have a herniated disc, now there are times when you have a herniated disc that you want to have surgery. Doesn't mean you have to. A lot of times they can heal. Mm-hmm. And people don't understand that. Like, if we can give you some exercises to heal the disc, to lay off it a little bit, and that's what Jason's doing. And eventually it'll heal. You'll be back to normal. It's not the end of the world. Unfortunately nowadays with Western medicine, let's just cut you open and we'll fix the issue right now.
Well, you guys gotta. I don't think most people know, and maybe some people do. I remember Desiree. She had a broken back, like right in the middle of her back. How many? I think 2, 3 vertebrae.
2 or 3. I think.
Yeah. It was a training mishap. They were practicing some ground fighting. Huh?
Not in CrossFit.
Not in CrossFit. Practicing some ground fighting in her hero real life job, and she got kneed in the back and broke her back. Like, if that isn't somebody who can just prove to you that it's all the mentality and what you're willing to do, and some days it bothers her. Some days she moves weird and she'll have to scale it back for the next couple weeks. But she's not letting that define who she is. She could easily just give up and sit at home and be lazy. And she doesn't. Mm-hmm. She refuses. So there's really no excuse for anything.
Right. And that kind of gets into another thing when you said like CrossFit didn't cause it. Just looking at my example, we really don't know what caused mine. Sonny, my chiropractor, thinks it started in football. I was 300 pounds and no technique. When we're lifting heavy in the weight room, Our coaches just yelled, lift heavier,
Yeah.
which is a story on its own. But anywho, so we think it started back then, plus I was running into people head first. And then it actually, like the pinched nerve occurred on a treadmill at Orange Theory, so again, not in CrossFit. But then what I tell people is if this happened, which it happens to people every day who don't do CrossFit, right? So we can't say like it's because of CrossFit that it happened. But if it wasn't for CrossFit, I honestly don't think, I think I would have been bedridden for a month.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how I would have moved. I probably would have gained how much weight just laying around and eating like crap. You know, I had some awesome routines that I had developed, a great mindset to get me through it, plus a community that keeps me accountable. Like, that's what we talk about when we say CrossFit is an insurance policy for your health. Like, I invested a lot of money up front, a lot of time and effort into CrossFit, and how much money did it save me? You know, that I can heal on my own, and I don't have to go get thousands of dollars of medical bills.
Yeah. And like you said, I mean, you don't really know where this occurred. And I think that when we come into the gym, you might feel fine, but now you're moving in a way that you never moved before. And so those injuries are coming out. But people just associate it with CrossFit because they're like, well, that's what I was doing when it hurt. But you have a lifetime of poor movement and then trying to come in here. So like Dave said, weak glutes, adductors or tight muscles because you sat at a desk job all the time, different things like that. So not so easy of like cause and effect here. There's so many factors. All we're saying is that regardless of what happened, where it occurred, when it occurred, new, old, or anything in between, we will make sure that you guys still have a fun experience, still get to stay healthy, and still stay active in the gym.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And that's why we have our plan.
Yes.
If we can't fix you, we'll refer you out to our chiros and our PTs. You know, and if they can't fix you, they're going to refer you out. You know, and it's like a circle of, you know,
Health and wellness.
health and wellness. That's what we developed, and that's why we have all these connections with that, and that's why we developed this program. It was for our athletes.
Mowing the lawn.
People are mowing our lawns. First mowing of the year.
That's a good time then.
All right.
Summertime. So we will reevaluate. We'll do your injuries. We'll modify for as long as it takes, and we'll keep reassessing you until you're ready to not have those modifications. But then, you know,
We're still going to check up on you and
Yep.
make sure things are good. Until you tell us, like, haven't had an issue in a month, like, it's not a big deal anymore.
Yep. And if it comes back, let us know. So, guys, let us know what you want to hear about. We've got about 10 topics in now. You guys can ask us any questions if you want to send in your requests on what you want our podcast to be about. You can shoot us an email at team@harborparkcrossfit.com. Send a message to our Insta, Facebook.
Or just comment on any of the posts that you see.
Comment on our show, comment on our Facebook post for the show. Let us know. Let us know what you guys are thinking, what you want to hear about next, and we'll put it into the lineup.
Great.
Yeah?
All right,
We done?
guys.
Yep.
All right. Stay classy, Harbor Park.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for listening to Anchored at Harbor Park CrossFit. If you would like further information about our programs, visit www.harborparkcrossfit.com. We hope you'll tune in next time.